Imagine, for today's history lesson, you wake up tomorrow morning, but instead of checking your phone, you already know exactly what your day will look like. You know where you'll work. You know who you'll work with. You know what your children will probably become. You know where you'll live. You know who your neighbors are. You know what is expected of you. And not because you carefully planned your life, but because it was decided long before you were born. Welcome to Echoes of Every Day, where we explore history's lessons for today. Welcome to medieval Europe. Modern life gives us something our ancestors could scarcely imagine. Choice, thousands of careers, millions of books, endless entertainment, unlimited opinions. You can reinvent yourself at almost any stage of life. You can move countries, start businesses, learn new skills, become almost anything. And yet, surveys consistently show that many people struggle with a simple question: what is my purpose? Curiously, 700 years ago, far fewer people seem to have asked it. And not because medieval life was easier, far from it, but because purpose wasn't something you had to discover. It was something you inherited. Now, before we romanticize the Middle Ages into some kind of spiritual paradise, let's be clear. Medieval life was difficult. Disease, famine, war, high infant mortality, backbreaking labor, limited freedom. Nobody would voluntarily trade antibiotics for a stronger sense of purpose. But purpose itself, that came almost automatically. And understanding why tells us something fascinating about our own lives. Let's begin with perhaps the biggest difference between then and now: identity. Today, one of the first questions we ask someone is, so, what do you do? Career has become identity. Software developer, teacher, electrician, designer, marketing consultant, professional attendee of meetings that should have been emails. But even after answering, there's another invisible question hanging in the air. Is this really what I'm supposed to do with my life? For medieval people, that question rarely existed. If your father was a blacksmith, you were probably becoming a blacksmith. If your family farmed, then you farmed. If your family belonged to a merchant family, you entered trade. Your occupation wasn't an expression of your personality. It was part of your place in society. From our perspective, that sounds restrictive, because it was, but it also removed an enormous psychological burden. There were no career aptitude tests, no personality quizzes, no endless YouTube videos titled "The 5 Jobs You Should Have Pursued Instead." Nobody worried whether their true calling was woodworking, pottery, or becoming a traveling motivational speaker. Life had already answered. Purpose came bundled with responsibility. And then there was religion. Whether someone personally believed every doctrine or not, religion shaped nearly every aspect of medieval life. Time itself revolved around it. Church bells marked the day, festivals marked the year, marriage, birth, death, planting, harvest, everything connected to a larger story. People didn't merely exist. They believed they occupied a meaningful place within God's creation. Again, modern people may or may not share those beliefs, but psychologically, it's difficult to overstate what that provided. If you believe your daily work contributes to divine order, even repetitive labor carries significance. Today, many people ask, why does my work matter? A medieval peasant might instead ask, am I fulfilling my duty? And those are very different questions. Duty points outward. Purpose today often points inward. Neither is automatically better, but they feel profoundly different. Community matter too. Modern society often celebrates independence. Move away. Start fresh. Be yourself. Create your own path. Those freedoms are remarkable, but they come with hidden costs. Many people barely know their neighbors. Families live hundreds of kilometers apart. Friendships require calendars. Loneliness has become common enough that researchers describe it as a public health concern. A medieval village looked very different. You worked beside people you'd known since childhood. Your parents lived nearby. Grandparents often remained close. Everyone attended the same church, shared the same festivals, celebrated the same harvest, mourned the same funerals. Your identity wasn't something you built alone. It emerged from belonging. And now, there are downsides. Privacy barely existed. Gossip traveled faster than horses. Everyone knew your mistakes. And if you challenged local customs, people noticed immediately. Community provided meaning. It also demanded conformity. But still, few people questioned whether they belonged somewhere, because obviously they did. Nature reinforced purpose as well. Most medieval people lived astonishingly close to the rhythms of seasons. Spring meant planting, summer meant growth, autumn meant harvest, and winter meant preparation and repair. The year itself carried structure. Time wasn't an endless series of identical Mondays. Life visibly moved through cycles. Today, many people experience the opposite. Artificial lighting erases darkness. Climate control erases seasons. Office work looks almost identical in January and July. Our calendars change. Our surroundings often don't. And when every month feels roughly the same, it's easier to feel disconnected from time itself. Technology has given us extraordinary convenience. It has also quietly separated many of us from the natural rhythms humans evolved alongside for thousands of years. And then there's expectation. Today, we're encouraged to become extraordinary. Follow your dreams, find your passion, reach your potential, leave your mark on history. It's inspiring. It's also exhausting. Because if your life isn't extraordinary, did you somehow fail? Medieval people rarely carried that expectation. Nobody expected a village carpenter to revolutionize furniture, or a shepherd to become internationally recognized. Doing your work well, raising your family, supporting your community, that was enough. Modern ambition has produced astonishing achievements. It has also convinced many ordinary people that ordinary lives aren't sufficient. Perhaps we've accidentally confused meaning with achievement. Those aren't necessarily the same thing. Let's talk about information, or rather, the overwhelming flood of it. A medieval villager might hear a handful of major news stories each year. Perhaps a king died, a neighboring village suffered a fire, the harvest looked promising, a traveling merchant brought rumors from a distant city, and that was about it. Today, before breakfast, you can learn about political crises on 3 continents. Natural disasters, economic forecasts, celebrity scandals, artificial intelligence, stock markets, climate reports, sports, war, scientific discoveries, and somebody arguing about pineapple on pizza. Your brain processes more information in a single morning than many medieval people encountered in months. Choice expands. So does uncertainty. Every new possibility creates another decision. Psychologists call this decision fatigue. The more choices we make, the harder meaningful decisions become. Our ancestors simply had fewer decisions to make. Life narrowed their options. Ironically, that often made action easier. Family also created purpose almost automatically. Children weren't simply personal lifestyle choices, they were essential. They contributed to household survival, learned practical skills, cared for aging parents, continued family traditions. Again, this wasn't necessarily idyllic. Child mortality remained heartbreakingly high. Families experienced loss far more frequently than most people today. But surviving family members generally understood exactly why their efforts mattered. Modern families often live physically and emotionally farther apart. Purpose that once emerged naturally through interdependence now frequently requires conscious effort. And then there was craftsmanship. Whether making shoes, barrels, stone walls, woven cloth, or bread, the connection between labor and the result remained obvious. You could literally see your work, touch it, use it, watch neighbors benefit from it. Many modern jobs create enormous value, but that value often feels abstract. A software engineer improves systems they'll never physically see. An accountant moves numbers representing assets they never touch. A project manager coordinates meetings about projects for clients they've never met. None of these jobs lack importance, but tangible work satisfies something ancient inside us. Humans evolved building, growing, repairing, carrying, and creating visible things. The further work moves into abstraction, the harder meaning sometimes becomes to recognize. Interestingly, even medieval leisure reinforced purpose. Festivals weren't random entertainment. They celebrated harvests, saints, religious events, community milestones. Everyone participated. Shared stories, shared rituals, shared identity. Today, entertainment often becomes solitary. Streaming services, social media, gaming, nothing inherently wrong with any of them, but they're increasingly individualized experiences. We're entertained together, less often. And finally, let's acknowledge the obvious. Purpose wasn't always joyful. Sometimes it felt crushing. If your role was fixed from birth, dreams often remained dreams. Talented people never discovered their gifts. Curious minds lacked education. Creative ambitions disappeared beneath survival. Many medieval people probably wished for exactly the freedoms we now possess. And if they suddenly woke up in our world, they'd likely embrace them enthusiastically. Medicine, education, travel, freedom, comfort, opportunity. Few would willingly surrender those things. But they might notice something curious. Despite having infinitely more possibilities, many of us seem infinitely less certain. It's one of history's greatest paradoxes. Freedom solves countless problems. It also creates entirely new ones. When life offers only one path, meaning arrives automatically. When life offers 10,000, finding meaning becomes another responsibility, sometimes even another source of anxiety. So, why did purpose come naturally 700 years ago? Because medieval society answered life's biggest questions before individuals ever asked them. Who are you? Your family tells you. What should you do? Your community tells you. Why does your work matter? Your religion tells you. Where do you belong? Your village tells you. Modern life replies very differently. You decide. That answer is wonderfully liberating and occasionally terrifying. History reminds us that purpose doesn't necessarily emerge from unlimited freedom. Often, it grows from responsibility, from belonging, from serving people around us, from contributing to something larger than ourselves. Our ancestors didn't spend decades searching for meaning because much of society had already woven meaning into everyday life. We, on the other hand, have inherited extraordinary freedom, along with the responsibility to decide what it's for. Perhaps that's the challenge of modern life. Not that purpose has disappeared, but that it no longer arrives by default. We have to build it ourselves. And maybe that's why so many people keep looking backward. Not because they truly want medieval hardships, but because they quietly envy something our ancestors often possessed without even realizing it. The comforting certainty that when they woke up tomorrow morning, their place in the world was already waiting for them. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this exploration, consider leaving a like and subscribing. It really helps the channel grow and lets me keep making videos like this. If today's topic gave you a new perspective, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Until next time, this is Echoes of Everyday, History's Lessons for Today.